Welcome back to Association Newsmakers. This time we'll focus on leveraging your foundation to advance the mission of your association. Joining us is Dawn Sweeney, President and CEO of the National Restaurant Association. Welcome, Dawn, to Association Newsmakers.
It's a great pleasure to be here with you, David.
So today we're talking about the relationship between an association's foundation and the association itself. Can you talk a little bit about the National Restaurant Foundation and the association, how big they are, how many people they employ, and what they do?
Yes. We've had a foundation here at the National Restaurant Association for 20 plus years, but in the last 3 or 4 years we've really reframed and repurposed our mission in our foundation to be more relevant to our industry today. And our mission in the foundation really is very complementary to the mission of the association. In the association, we are working to advance and protect, defend the restaurant industry from the standpoint, obviously, of advocacy and promotion and those kinds of things. In the foundation, though, we really have a mission to tell the story of the industry, the career opportunities, the fact that the organization is deeply involved in training America's workforce, and that this industry really trains, half of the employees eventually that work in America. And so how do we use our foundation to tell the story, to engage around community service and community engagement, and really to advance the reputation, really, of the industry as an employer of opportunity.
The Restaurant Association has a great reputation. It employs a lot of people. Everyone goes to restaurants all the time. But have you tried to leverage that so the quote-unquote foundation gets more attention?
I think when you have a foundation, you have a responsibility to the public that's different than the responsibility you have in a trade association. So what we've tried to do is really place in our educational foundation the kinds of things that are making an impact even on the larger sense of society. And so that's one of the things that I think is a huge opportunity for any trade association, is to really think about the work that you're doing that impacts society, in our case, employment, workforce development, community engagement, and how we can frame that up in the context of a philanthropic organization. So we're not really, we give scholarships, we do a lot of outreach and things like that, but what we're really doing is trying to leverage the foundation to be able to be the voice of the industry from the standpoint of the industry's impact on the betterment of society. And that does, I think, differentiate it, to your point, and creates a different platform for conversation and allows you really to talk with a slightly different vantage point to different audiences than you might be able to at a traditional trade association.
Yeah. What 2 or 3 ideas would you share with other association leaders on how to view your foundation or how to leverage your foundation on behalf of your members or your industry?
I think, first of all, getting really clear on the way your industry contributes to society at large is really important. In our case, workforce development, training America's workforce, and then utilizing the foundation as a platform to tell that story. So first of all, kind of the unique contributions that your industry makes to society, and we all have them, and many of us have many of them, but then kind of focusing in some cases on the 1 or 2 things that are most impactful. And then secondly, I would say, for the lesson that I've learned, and probably others have already done this, but when we moved our foundation, most people have their foundations probably co-located with their association. We had it with our Chicago office as opposed to our DC office. Having that resource here in DC with our kind of communications team and our research team and our messaging team has really helped us get a lot stronger. So really connecting the dots between the association and the foundation in ways to improve and strengthen both. And then finally, I would say the resource development part of what we do, in other words, the fundraising to support the foundation, really thinking not only about your industry, which is obviously your first place that you go, but we've been very successful in getting grants from the Gates Foundation and the Joyce Foundation and others that are really interested in the topics and the work that we are doing beyond its impact necessarily on the restaurant industry, but thinking broadly about other parts of society and other parts, other industries and other resources that might be interested in the message that you have. Fundamentally, will always be driven primarily by our industry, but there are others that are interested in contributing to a cause when it's important enough, and we're grateful for that.
And worthy.
And worthy, yes. Well said.
Well, thank you for being with us, and I hope you'll join us for our next session of Association Newsmakers.